Hello everyone, hope you all are doing very well. So today's video is going to be very helpful again. So from last couple of months you guys were asking me all about my experience at Mastercard, how I cleared my Mastercard round interviews and everything, what was my salary, what was my experience when I was preparing for that change. So all those things I have covered in this particular video. So you can go ahead and watch this. Before that, I have already uploaded one video regarding my interview process, which is available here. So you can check that out. And today's video is mainly I'm focusing on the resume part. So when I was preparing for the switch, uh, the resume that I have prepared that point of time, that I'll be showing you, and also I'll be explaining each and everything in detail, what exactly you can mention in your resume, what not to mention. So all those things we'll be covering today, and this video will be helpful for both experienced as well as early professional and also for freshers, because now even if you are in a fresher like in your college days, you have to have a very good and strong resume. So we will be seeing all those in very detail. So without any further delay, let's open the resume. So I have just hidden my DOB and all those details. So apart from this, what we'll be focusing on here is the format and what things to add here, what not to add. All right, so let's get started. First thing first, this particular resume, if you're seeing how exactly I have created, so this I have created. There are many tools currently available. There is Canva that you can use, then there are other tools as well. There is one another very famous tool. See, this is the another tool, Overleaf, which I have used particularly so creating this resume. So you can find tons of templates as well for this Overleaf, so that also you can use, or you can directly do that in Canva as well. So there are many tools available. So first thing, I have my name, which is again in a little bigger format, bigger font size that I have used here. And then I have my DOB, then here I had my email, then my mobile number. And this was my personal website, or you can say a personal uh, portfolio kind of website that I was having that point of time. Here I had my basic details, I did not add much. This particular website I created in my college days itself, so that only I have just updated it with my some basic technical details and all those things. If you have it, that is fine. If you doesn't have it, that also is fine. Like, it does not make much of a, it's not a game changer kind of thing. So if you have it, it will be obviously good. You can user can, sorry, whatever the interviewer will see this, they can like probably check that whatever details that you have shared apart from your resume. So now coming to the main important point, this again is a very highlighting point, because here you will be mentioning your kind of the highlighted points which you want your interviewer to see, or whoever is selecting your resume, they will be seeing clearly what you are good at, what achievements you have done. So it's not exactly the achievement section, but here you'll be mentioning what you do and how good you are at doing those things. So for example, when I was switching and I was looking for the change, I was working in L&T Infotech as a software engineer. At that point of time, I had approx 3 years of experience. So whatever technology I was working on, I have clearly mentioned here, and on whatever modules that I have worked on, and what kind of skills that I possess, I just clearly mentioned in one two liner. Okay, this few things I have kept it in bold just to highlight that I am good at those things. See, if you have some excellent certifications, that also you can mention on the top. For example, I had Java Oracle certified certification, and that is not a very common thing. And if you are in a Java world, or if you are in a development field, this makes like very good impression if you have the Oracle certification. So that is why I have added this here on the top itself. And what exactly I'm looking at also I mentioned it here. Okay, then coming to my project summary. Now I did not add my education here, because if you do not have very excellent thing in your education like IIT and IT or something very good like 10 out of 9.5 out of 10 or something like that, uh, anyways your interviewer is not very much keen about looking at all those educational details. Only if you are a if you are a fresher, then you can add your education here, that too if you have a very good educational skill like education or whatever you say, it's a if you have a very good CGPA, or if you have passed out, like if you have completed your degree from IIT or NIT. So if you have those kind of things, then you can add your education here. And if you have, for example, 7.5 7 CGPA, and if you are from an like normal college, private college or anything, so in that case what you can do, you can take that particular section at the end or in between somewhere, that I'll show you, and you can skip your CGPA part from there. So if you don't want to highlight that particular thing, that is also fine. You can just mention your degree name, and you can mention your year, passing year, and that will be fine. Because as an experience, what you want to show to your interviewer is whatever the project that you have done and what you are good at. So that only you want to highlight here. So starting from my latest one, I have mentioned the latest project that I have worked on, that was in my L&T Infotech company. So that I have mentioned here what project I worked on, from what period to what period, and what was my role. So this location is again not a mandatory thing to add here. If you want to add, you can add. If you don't want to add, that is also fine. Why I have added here the location? Because my first project, which I'll come at the end here, was my client location. So that is why I just differentiated between the client and offshore projects. Then the second project was my another project, and for on what modules I have worked on, what are the developments that I did, all those things I have highlighted here. Again, what are the really good things that interviewer will look at, like the famous particularly words like the fund transfer, card modules, and all that I have worked on. So those things I have highlighted here. So it's not like you can just keep adding things. It's like what important points you want to highlight, you can highlight here. Then if you see my education, I put my education right after my projects, and here I had like only few liners, like I completed my BTech from this college and from what period. I did not add my CGPA because I did not had very good CGPA, so that is why I did not add it here. And my higher secondary, that's it. Then coming to my skills, I kept it very simple and short. Whatever skills I am good at, I just added it here. You don't have to fill too much. Whatever you are good at, that will be enough. And whatever your whatever company you are applying for, if that is sufficient, that is fine. You don't have to add tons of skills here. So I just added for from the front end side, I have added here, and I was a full stack developer, so I have added few skills from backend DB, and from the front end side, which I was good at. Then tools I have worked on, that I have added here, like Visual Studio, Android Studio. Android Studio I worked on my first project when I was working on my application development. Then Eclipse and Visual Studio, all these you must be familiar with. Then other tools like Postman, Workbench, then these tools Jira, GitHub, SBN for the checkout and all. So these are the things that I've highlighted here. Now coming to my achievements, what exactly I have achieved, like on that I can showcase here, is something like my certification obviously was on the top. I was a high performer in Infosys, so those things I have mentioned. Some event fun activities, that also I have mentioned. These things are not important ones, as I did not had nothing much to add, so I just added it here. But these kind of things is not mandatory to add, so you can just skip those things as well, like the second runner up. And sometimes it is also helpful, maybe interviewer will look at those things and will say, okay, you are not only about development, but you also do things apart from whatever your current activity that you are doing. For example, if I mention those things, these things here, interviewer will see, okay, I am not only about doing the development here, but I also take part in other things as well in my organization. So those things also mandate, like it's not mandatory, but obviously it will add some points in your resume. these things, these particular section was not mandatory, and it's obviously, if you don't have very excellent thing to add here, I suggest that you don't add it. If you are a fresher, obviously you can add it, because that point of time it is very mandatory, and also it makes much more sense to add publications and all those things. But going forward, if you are a experienced professional, so that point of time this particular thing does not make much sense if you do not have like a very good publication in your current field. So this was my college publication which we did in ML, so that I have added here. But obviously this was not related to my profession which I am currently into. It's a full stack, so this will not make much of a sense, obviously. Then there are few links that I have added here. For example, my GitHub link, LinkedIn. If I'll click here, directly will take to my LinkedIn profile. So those things I have added directly here. My Twitter, so those you can add here directly. So behind this I already have a link added, that, see, if you hover over here you will see the link. Then hobbies and interests, obviously this is not a mandatory field to add. If you want to add, you can add. If not, then you can skip this also. Interviewer is not much interested in currently hobbies and interests. So yeah, this was all about my resume. uh, so mainly what you need to show as an experience is your work. So you have to focus mainly on your project and what you want to highlight to the interviewer at the very front. Apart from that, all the things does not make much of a sense apart from your skills and tools that you have worked on. So interviewer is mainly interested in your projects and the skills that you have. And at the end, obviously, when your resume is selected, at the end it's your skills that matters. So hope this particular video will help you create your resume in a very like presentable way. And if you have any doubts, feel free to ping me on my LinkedIn or my Instagram. I'll be happy to help. So that is all for today. We'll be coming back with another very important video that I already have recorded, but I just wanted to share this first. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.